Greetings! Welcome to Film Gazers, a podcast focusing on the science fiction, horror, fantasy trinity, and 20th century entertainment. I'm Steph.
I'm Jess. We're cousins / besties. Join us as we reminisce, discuss, and review films from our childhood.
Happy Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
Happy September. Happy Virgo season.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks.
It's Stephanie's almost birthday weekend.
Yes, almost. Technically, it's going to be the week following.
Yes.
And then we won't even be doing anything for it except for the following week after that.
Yes.
So it's a whole birthday month, really.
It's a whole season.
It's a whole season, my birthday.
It's Virgo season, a.k.a. Stephanie season.
Yes. But I chose Sinful September as the theme for my birthday month.
Yes.
And our plans, we are going to go to a local state park that has a river.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go tubing down
down the river.
Oh, yeah. And I looked into it, too. And it doesn't cost as much to rent a tube. That's just for a cooler. So we'll have a cooler tube.
Nice. Perfect.
And then we'll have some drinks and some snacks. And we're going to pack some, I want specifically bologna sandwiches.
Of course.
I'm going old school. Andrew hates bologna, so I'll get him something different.
Mm-hmm.
But you and me doing it bologna style.
Salt, vinegar chips.
And so I was going to say, Andrew bought me this giant bag of salt and vinegar chips. And I hadn't opened them up yet. And I was like, I'm going to save them.
I'm going to save them.
I'm going to save them because they're the gigantic one.
River snacks.
Yeah, it's going to be perfect for the river.
Yes.
So I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm excited because it's been like at least 2 years. 2 to 3 years since we've tubed down the river. That was the last time I went.
Of anything, yeah. And that we did a different, this time we're doing like a river. That was a creek, a little slower moving.
Mm-hmm.
This was about 4 miles when I looked into it. So that's going to be exciting.
Okay.
So it'll be good. I think they said you can float for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, perfect.
Stop at the bank, because there are the banks and everything.
Right.
It's going to be fun. I can't wait. I've been wanting like an outdoor,
mm-hmm.
and I love a good river or creek.
And I have a new bathing suit that I haven't got to wear yet.
Yeah, I have one that I bought this year that I like a lot. So it's my good, I call it my athletic bathing suit because it's the things that I do shit in.
It's a douche.
No. I don't do shit in it. I do shit in it. It's like, that's when I'm kayaking. I'm fucking tubing down things.
Not to worry about it. Titty
I'm
popping
hiking.
out.
Yeah, exactly. So looking forward to that. Anyway, so yes, Sinful September. I chose Stigmata is what's up for this, and
Is what's up.
Is what's up. And for the other half of the month, you'll be we'll do your choice, which was Frailty. Awesome.
And you know what made me choose that one?
What?
I have it on DVD.
Like convenience.
I was like, yes, free. Thank you.
Free 99.
All I have to do is set up the DVD
We've
player.
been renting all these movies because we can't seem to pick the shit that's available on the things we already pay for.
Was streaming on Tubi. So I watched it for free.
Oh. Do you have to watch commercials on that, though?
Yes, of course.
See, I was like, I don't want to do commercials.
Yeah.
Because I did see, I think it was on Plex, too, and I think I have a Plex account. But I was like, I don't want to watch
Tubi's not terrible.
I've heard good things, like, that it's not bad. Like, like, for commercials, it's
Paramount
fine.
Plus, man, it's pretty bad now. Because I just get the free one because Walmart, I get it with my Walmart account.
Yeah, like an add-on thing.
Mm-hmm. But I'm like, bleh. It's usually only 2 at a time, but still.
Yeah, that's not too bad. And then we have lined up for October, we're doing Spooky Shaloub.
Yes.
This is going to be, I think, one of our most ridiculous themes yet.
It's I'm down.
I know. I was like, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to watch the Monk movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to end it with 13 Ghosts.
Yes.
Which I did actually watch recently, so it'll be funny to get
it's been a
watching
long
it.
Time since I've seen it.
And then even when I watched it, I was like, "This is insane." So I can't. I'm actually looking forward to watching it again and taking notes this time. So
in depth.
Yeah. So what else have you been watching or doing?
Last night, actually, me and my mom watched the new Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire.
We already know how I feel about the other one.
Yeah,
and even the other one. I think they all have sucked. The remakes, or whatever you want to call them.
I really don't remember. I don't even know if I watched the female one, actually.
It
that
was.
remake.
They were both
I heard
just
it was
as bad. Yeah.
The other one to the prequel to this one.
Mm-hmm.
I remember nothing except for Egon's ghost in the end and how like hokey it was.
Yeah, it was distasteful.
This one was, yeah. I mean,
it's just weird. I don't know any other way to describe it.
Right. This one was it definitely
Hokey.
had some very hokey, cheesy moments
Yeah.
too. But I still thought it was cute. It had some interesting ideas. Like it had almost like a 13 Ghost-esque scene in it, which I thought was kind of cool.
I mean, the thing I liked most about 13 Ghosts was like ghost astrology or zodiacs. Like, I thought that was so badass. Like, so if it's something kind of implemented with that.
Yeah, it did have.
I don't know if I'll watch it though. I hated the first.
It was 2 hours long.
Yeah, if you guys haven't heard, I did a mini-sode of the Ghostbusters and I did not enjoy it. So you can check that out.
If you dare.
If you dare. It's just me bitching about it.
It's me saying, I hated it. And here's why.
And that was not how I intended for that episode to go, but it just came out. I think it came out that way.
Just spewed forth.
So other than Ghostbusters.
Oh, I also have just been still watching RuPaul.
Nice, yeah.
Just backtracking through the seasons.
I get that. And I
it's
just feel
comforting.
like it's just been still August.
Still been August?
Yeah, it's still been August. It's so funny that our friend Becky like messaged us where she's like, it's been August. Saying she was listening to last episode.
It's been August.
I know. I'm glad. Technically when we're recording this, it's the day before the 1st.
Yes.
You are currently hair coloring my hair.
I am.
And then we also have our kickoff of spooky season, as we've mentioned, with our group that we're in, a Facebook group. You can join us, called Geeks United. And every year we do like a group viewing, and we do talk in a chat, little group chat we have. And it's fun.
Little chat.
Yeah. So we're watching Evil Dead 2 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I have actually gone to the movies more in the past, I think, 2 months than I have in a really long time.
In the past 2 years.
And probably in the last 10 years. Like,
oh, wow.
I don't know. It was just, feels like a lot. Because before I was always going, if there was like some big Marvel movie or things of that kind of nature, just more of the really big blockbusters. James Bond, Andrew and I would always try to go to any of the James Bond movies, like certain things like that. But I actually we had seen Long Legs already. And then shortly after that, Andrew and I went and saw Trap, the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Shyamalan-a-ding-dong.
Shyamalan-a-ding-dong. And, scoop on to me. Just thinking of Grease.
Shyamalan-a-ding-dong.
So I was thinking about doing a mini-sode for Trap. Maybe.
Okay.
It's not as fresh as it was. I didn't take notes, but I think for a mini-sode. And I might have my husband, because he's watched it with me. Yeah. And maybe this will be his debut. Who knows? We'll see if he's up for it. And then we also went and he took me, when I was in high school, one of my favorite movies at the time was Rear Window by Alfred Hitchcock. I just freaking loved it. Like,
not Johnny Depp.
No, not Secret Window, which is what Jessica thought I was seeing when I kept talking about it, being excited. I'm like, no, with Jimmy Stewart, not Johnny Depp. Get Grace fucking Kelly up in here. Oh my God. So that was really fun to see that movie on the big screen, because that was something I loved in high school. I haven't watched it since high school, though. Even on my Letterboxd, I have it, I think, in my top 5 movies. Like, that's how highly I regard this movie. And it holds up still okay. Like, it's not, watching it now in an even older lens and being a little more separated from that era of, the 40s, 50s, 60s kind of, movies. I haven't watched a lot of those in a long time, even though I grew up watching them so much. And that's why, obviously, I have a love for these kind of films. But so rewatching it, I'm like, Jimmy Stewart's kind of a dick. Like his character a little bit. But no, Grace Kelly is still, God, she is just so beautiful. And, just everything about her character is really cool. And the suspense and the little things that Hitchcock does, I still appreciated. And it was still fun to watch in the theaters, especially. Would I say, like I said, I freely admitted that my actual favorite movies are probably Bridget Jones's Diary and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, yeah, I can pretend to sound fancy all I want. I love Hitchcock's Rear Window. I mean, I do still love it. It was great. But I would say the other ones I'd probably still rewatch more. now we're rewatching it again. Mm-hmm. But it was a lot of fun. Andrew and I were probably the youngest people in the theater. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I kind of anticipated that. But someone was really annoying in the crowd.
Talking?
No, it just kept doing like a weird, like they were laughing at every little innuendo or slight, just anything that was supposed to be a gag. Like they're like,
like, and you're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and Andrew's like, oh my god.
It's not that funny, bro.
I know. It was a little crazy. Other than that, though, I've been pretty much like procrastinating kind of lately. I feel like it's that weird transition time, so I was just kind of ready. And then my birthday snuck up on me, because it wasn't until this week I was like, oh shit, my birthday's next week.
It's my birthday.
I was like, oh no.
1 year older.
I know. Ugh.
You gonna tell the folks how old you are?
I'm gonna be 37. That's fine.
Hey, it's better than 40.
I know, but that's what you got me thinking. I'm like, oh my god, I'm only 3 years to 40 now. I always know I'm getting older when you start reaching new decades.
Yeah.
Because then I'm 3 years behind.
You're like, it's creeping up.
I know, exactly. Like when I was 27 and you turned 30, I was like, fuck. And that was when I had my like quarter life crisis.
Mm-hmm. I had my own at 27.
Yeah, and now I'm like 37. It's always the sevens for me.
Because that's your pre-decade.
Yeah. To where it's like I gotta mentally prepare for what's
at least
ahead.
You have 3 years to prepare.
I guess so.
Probably won't help.
Probably not. So, but I'm gonna try to get into my fall mindset. Andrew and I got a big like mountain vacation kind of research trip planned for when we're trying to get the hell out of Florida. Yes. So I'm looking forward to like really just trying to get into fall mindset.
I think it'll help.
Take things slower a little bit.
We have planned in probably like third week of October. Mm-hmm. We're going to go to Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh, yeah. I know. So we all got our own little October fall foliage trips planned.
So I was like, I hope we see some fall foliage. I need to go ahead and book that Airbnb, actually.
Yeah. Oh, we booked ours, and it seems awesome. It's a house, and it's like has its own like couple of hiking little trails, like has some woods on it, has a little fire pit. Oh, we're gonna make s'mores. Perfect. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna go check out some of the mountains and the trails in the area. Check out all the little small towns that are just all in this area of Virginia we'd like to check out. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna eat some good Southern food. I want some fried apples. I want some different kinds of grits and biscuits and gravies.
I think they have apple orchards in Virginia, don't they?
Oh my god, I don't know. I gotta look it up now. Oh, and this is the most exciting part. Can you feel in my voice? I felt the excitement. Andrew told me last night, he was like, you know what? He was like, why don't you just like plan everything?
For the trip?
Yes.
You're like, finally.
I know. I was like,
what's taking you so long? I didn't realize that he planned anything in trips.
Well, no, he has a say, of course. But, like, yeah, like, last time he asked for us not to, like, hard plan anything. Because, like, sometimes it is a lot of pressure, you know? Like, you don't want to over plan or, you know, anything like that. So I get it. So we were trying to be like, oh, we're spontaneous. We're so great. Chill. But then, like, it'll rain and we have no backup plan because we didn't plan anything.
Right.
Other than the thing. Like, or, oh, this is what we're going to do. And then, yeah.
And it blows up in our face. According to plan.
Exactly.
So you always need at least two.
So you need at least two other backup plans. So I'm super excited because I get to make a whole itinerary.
Nice.
Anyway, in this episode, we watched 1999's Stigmata. It was released September 10th, 1999. What are the odds?
Right after your birthday.
And also, I'm just going to go ahead and point it out now. Fucking Byrne, whatever his name is, the actor. Gabriel, who's just in fucking...
I know.
What were the odds of me picking that movie right after? I mean, come on.
Isn't that crazy?
I had no... And I didn't even think about these things ahead of time. The running time, 103 minutes. But on the Amazon, when I rented it on Prime, it only said it was like 99 minutes. So I don't know where the discrepancy is.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
It was directed by Rupert Wainwright. Screenplay by Tom Lazarus and Rick Ramage. Story by Tom Lazarus, which I like. I really like Lazarus. That's the last name. That's badass.
He rose.
Produced by Frank Mancuso Jr. It was starring Patricia Arquette, Gabriel
Byrne.
Why can I not say his fucking name?
Byrne.
I can't say it. Jonathan Pryce, Nia Long, Portia de Rossi, and Rade Bezigia. Cinematography was Jeffrey L. Kimball. It was edited by Michael R. Miller. And music was by Billy Corgan.
Whoa.
Of all people, yes. And Mike Garson, as well as Elia Samiral. The budget was $29 million, and the box office was $89.4. So
made us money back.
Yeah.
Broke even.
Broke even, a little middle of the road. And now down to the facts. There wasn't a ton on this movie. It wasn't that popular.
Apparently not.
But I did find some things regarding Patricia Arquette and her character. She is quoted to say it was a very interesting character, and it was interesting for me because I really believe in God. So to play an atheist, it felt very dangerous and naughty to me, very scary. Ooh. The production notes also have told us, with hyperbole typical of Hollywood, that she was subjected to just about every physical and mechanical special effect imaginable. Some of the most grueling were resulting from the levitation arm used to suspend her in a stationary vertical position when she was symbolizing the crucifixion. She said she was in that thing for hours. And at a certain point, she was like, just let me out of this thing. I have to pee. I've been here for hours. I cannot. So I guess that was a little grueling. Her character is called Frankie, which was short for Francis, which was a nod of the St. Francis, in which we're told by Gabriel Byrne's character about when he's talking about stigmata and everything. Okay. St. Francis of Assisi.
Assisi?
I believe so.
Oh, that was his name.
St. Francis of Assisi. Like, I think that was a region.
I thought you were calling him a sissy.
Oh, no.
St. Francis the sissy.
Time out. I gotta fix my bag head. Okay, by the way, guys. So, like I said, we're doing my hair. She's doing my hair. I got a Walmart bag on my head.
That's how we roll out.
And that's how it's home hair. I ain't paying for this shit.
You get what you get.
I'm going to take what I can get. And it's very appropriate as well for this movie because I'm wearing a robe, like it looks like a robe, like as a collar. It's not white, but it's the hairstylist like cape. And then I got this Walmart bag on, and then she said I look like the Pope. So we're gonna be posting that photo on the Discord if you're interested.
You're interested.
I mean, I am a former Catholic.
Right. I forgot about that. Turned atheist.
Yes. You just realized that? I will also say, we'll go ahead and say it now, that I do think this contributed to me leaving the Catholic Church.
I mean, that ending, though, I was like, I could see that.
Also to note, because we talked about Gabriel
Byrne.
Byron. I'm just gonna call him Gabriel. Yeah. So Gabriel.
It's a good, strong name.
Yeah, I agree. He was nominated for a Razzie for both this movie and he was Satan in End of Days.
That's where I know exactly him. That's why I don't like him.
It's exactly why. I know. When I read that, I was like, we just talked about this in the last episode. Yep. So
that's exactly what it is.
Because, when I realized he was in this movie, I was like, no. I was like, I don't think I hated his character in this movie. Mm-hmm. This movie also, funnily enough, ended the reign of one of the most dominant horror films in box office history. And that was The Sixth Sense. It had won.
That's horror?
It's considered because it's thriller, kind of, and there's dead people.
Oh, there's ghosts involved.
But The Sixth Sense had won 5 consecutive weekends in the fall of '99 after debuting on August 8th with 26. I know, right? Funny. 26.6 million. So the week-to-week drops were very minuscule, and in each of these 5 winning weekends, it tallied more than 20 million. It was crazy. Yet Stigmata was able to topple them, bringing his film down to second place at 16.5. So just some fun little... That Sixth Sense was going strong, and this movie came out, and people were like, yeah, this looks crazy too. And they're like, and then they all went back to The Sixth Sense.
The only cool part was her looking like a man. That part turn around, blah, 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 blah. Don't look at me. She had like the...
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
It was like that.
Patricia Arquette, what happened to your face?
She looks like a different person.
And so I found the Roger Ebert review from January 1st, 1999.
Nice.
And he said, Stigmata has generated outrage in some Catholic circles. I don't know why. It provides a valuable recruiting service by suggesting to the masses that the church is a place to go for real miracles and supernatural manifestations. It is difficult to imagine the story involving a Unitarian. First, get them in the door, then start them on the catechism. That's just my favorite excerpt from his review.
Oh, I was like, that was it?
He was 2 stars. Obviously, he was like unimpressed for the most part. A lot of people, and I will say that's him kind of making a joke, but it did seem like he was kind of sticking up for the Catholic Church in regard of like, he's like, this movie makes no sense if you're a Catholic, basically, because like, that's not how any of this works. Like,
right.
Even I think according to their own beliefs, which I mean, he's right to an extent, but it's a horror movie. Yeah, exactly. So I feel like everyone did take the Catholicism too seriously, and then it also opened my eyes
Open my eyes.
Sorry, I had to swallow at the same time, and I was trying to still speak. To how it was still kind of like, I guess, risque to call out the church and stuff. I mean, this is 2024. People are like, fuck the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess
know
the
what I mean?
pedophilia wasn't as well known back then.
I'm trying to remember, when were those stories breaking out? But I feel like it was maybe around that
it was
time.
Always known?
Yeah, like, I don't know. So either way, I felt like people were very much in a hubbub about this movie, I feel like, in 99. Yeah. I will say, when I looked on Letterboxd, I saw a lot more positive reviews for it. So it's more of, I think,
What was the Rotten Tomato score?
Oh, I didn't even bother to
know.
look. But I did see that some dude named Jerry Jackson, age 38, on ChristianAnswers.net, had said it makes a mockery of all committed Christians by glorifying a sad little secularist as worthy of the highest external markings of a saint. And I'm like, she was just enjoying her life just fine, sir. She did not ask for the stigmata.
The stigmata.
The stigmata.
And I was like, how did I not remember she was a hairstylist?
I know. I got all of those facts from CNN.com from 1999 for some of the OG reviews, and then also IMDb and BoxOfficeProfits.com. Jess is going to take it away with the You Googled Summer.
A young woman with no strong religious beliefs, Frankie Page, begins having strange and violent experiences, showing signs of the wounds that Jesus received when crucified. When the Vatican gets word of Frankie's situation, a high-ranking cardinal requests that the Reverend Andrew Kiernan investigate her case. Soon Kiernan realizes that very sinister forces are at work and tries to rescue Frankie from the entity that is plaguing her.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. All right. So, when was the last time you watched this one?
I haven't watched this since I was in high school, probably.
Probably about the same, around the same time frame.
Because I never really cared for it. Her turning into whatever that was supposed to be.
The
priest, come to find out.
Or being possessed by him, rather.
Basically, yeah. I had no memory of that. But that part used to freak me out so bad for some reason. I don't know why.
That's what it was all brought back to you.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, yes, I forgot about that part. And I really thought that she was basically possessed by Jesus, is what I thought, is what my memories of it is.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, she was like kind of possessed by Jesus, right? That's what Stigmata is. You're possessed by Jesus. Like, who do you call if you're possessed by Jesus? You don't call a priest. That was like my recollection. And then I was like, or I really didn't think she was, I don't know. Either way, I was like, oh, so she's just possessed by the priest. Like, her mom, it's all her mom's fault.
Yeah.
Essentially, because she mailed her the fucking cross.
I also forgot about the priest completely that she's supposedly possessed by. I thought it was also, like, Jesus and the devil. Like, I thought it was
having
like
a battle or something.
Conflicting thing from my recollection. Vaguely remember, like I said, I forgot obviously who the priest was. Like, even watching the last movie, I was like, oh, I know him in something.
Right.
Like, I've seen him in multiple films.
Multiple. And I thought she was writing in an insane asylum. That was my recollections. Her doing that writing was in, like, a padded room or something, and she's like, blah, 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 blah.
Oh.
Slowly turning into Jesus.
I remember the loft, and I remember her supposed to be, like, I remember her just being really cool. And that I was still not wrong on, because she was still really cool in this movie. That's kind of all I remembered. I vaguely remembered the forced love story between her and the priest, which it was so unnecessary.
And kind of...
And just weird.
Weird.
And awkward. And, yeah, so... And like I've mentioned earlier, I think this film also contributed to... Because I think during that time, when it came out, was when I had been in the Catholic Church for a couple of years. I was a Catholic for a while, but I wasn't raised Catholic by any means. That obviously, because you're family and you're not Catholic. Like, usually if you're like a Catholic family, everyone's Catholic, you know. But I kind of like went into it in a different way. I was older, like 9 or 10 when I first got into it.
Enjoyed like the ritual.
It really was. I think I enjoyed the ritual of Catholicism, and that's what drew me to it. Because I went to a whole bunch of different kinds of churches as a kid. Because my mom, had no qualms with that, at least. So I went to Pentecostal church. I went to Methodist church with you. I went to First Baptist church for a long time. I went to an independent Baptist church. I went to a bunch of different stuff growing up. And then, Catholicism I thought was just, like, really cool. And I guess just felt like there was so much history and so much to learn in a different kind of way, I guess, than the other churches have presented to me. But then also I was a teenager and getting older, and then I saw this movie, and there was, like, other kind of stuff around that time. And I think that was when a lot of the cases were coming out, and I don't know, and I started questioning everything and kind of getting into it, and that's when I realized I didn't think I was just a religious person, because even when I went, I just felt like I was going through the motions, like, I'm like, I don't feel anything, blah, 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 like, whatever, like, so.
I always told people
probably contributed.
I hated going to church with you at the Catholic church, because if you weren't Catholic, you still had to go up to the front to get communion and put a big X on yourself, like, no, not me. No, not lowly little me.
She was so offended that she had to go up there and just be blessed by the priest and not get communion.
I forgot that I still got blessed. I was just like, felt like I was so singled out for not being Catholic.
How dare you just bless me?
I was like, why can I not just stay in my seat? I'm not Catholic. Why do I have to participate at all?
You're going to fuck up the whole pew system. Remember, this is about ritual and organization.
And it is not, if you're a different kind of person, no. You must conform.
I guess maybe we should have, like, started off with a Catholicism trigger warning for this episode. But it's called Stigmata, come on.
Yeah, it's called Stigmata.
It's called Stigmata. Once you Google it and you see. Well, I guess with that, we'll just probably start getting into it. Let me get my notes.
I totally forgot Patricia Arquette was the star of it. Had no memory of that.
Yes, I also had forgot it was her specifically. And I was like, man, she does a lot of, like, devil movies, because she was in Little Nicky as well.
Oh, that's right, that was her. You have a heart-shaped hiney. And Elizabeth Swann's father from Pirates of the Caribbean. Elizabeth Swann, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Who's her dad?
That was the priest in this movie. The bad priest, like the head of the...
I do not remember that at all. I would not have remembered who he was.
I was like, wait a minute. It's Elizabeth Swanstead.
I'm just thinking the other guy, the one little assistant, wasn't he in Just Shoot Me? He was a photographer.
Oh, I don't remember
Yes,
that.
I watched a lot of Just Shoot Me.
I watched a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, I wrote my notes. Okay, so the rosary possesses her?
Yeah, it has the intro has Brazil. It's showing us like this old monk guy. It's but it feels very ominous. Yes, not spiritual or like Jesus or this is great. It just feels very like dun dun. It has that very cool font transitions in the credits, which I'm assuming is supposed to be Aramaic.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. I couldn't find that in any notes. I'm like, is that real Aramaic? Are they really writing Aramaic?
Why would they do fake?
Well, because it's a movie.
True.
How much research have they done?
They're like, Americans aren't going to know the difference.
So we get an intro of, what was it? Father Andrew Kiernan. I can't do it.
Kiernan.
He's walking in the streets of Brazil. We come to find out that he was there for a different reason, but he happens to come across this church where old boys did.
And there's a statue of Jesus that's...
I believe it's Mary.
Oh, is it Mary?
I thought so. That's crying tears.
Of blood.
Yes. Bloody tears.
And he takes a swab of it.
Mm-hmm. He's taking pictures in the middle of everyone praying, and they're like, how could you not believe this?
Yeah.
And he's like, this is my job.
I'm a scientist first, priest second.
Because,
I don't know if he actually said that, but...
no, I don't believe that was
I don't believe
part
that
of the dialogue.
That sounded cool, though.
And then also, this movie, the first half of it, because our main characters, Patricia Arquette and Father Andrew Kiernan are in totally different areas of the world. So it goes back and forth. It's very much that kind of shot movie. In each segment, you have some cool stuff or a cool scene here or there, but it's very just here's what she's doing, here's what he's doing, here's what she's doing. It's like clockwork. Very ritualistic. Has an order and a reason. So we cut to Patricia Arquette a lot. And I was like, oh my God, and her intro scene. I'm like, if this is not Brat Girl Summer, I don't know what is. Like, I feel like you could pluck her and put her in today on, like, Instagram or TikTok with, like, some of her outfits for this summer. And, I mean, Brat Girl Summer.
I remember the spiky updos.
Updos. I still love a good spiky updo. It's probably the millennial in me.
It is.
And the rings, the big acrylic, like, bulb rings. Yeah. Oh, my God.
There was a blow-up chair.
Yes, several. It was everything where I'm like, this is Y2K. Like, exactly. It really was. So, if you guys don't even want to watch this movie for whatever, you're like, oh, I remember how stupid the thing was or whatever. I'm like, for the styling alone of her, it was worth it. The outfits were just those, like, platform, like, they were almost like Birkenstocks, like jelly Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
The ring, though, I had one of those.
I know.
I had a big squarish one. Big acrylic one.
I did. I think I had one with a flower. I know. Now I'm like, I want an acrylic ring again.
Oh, you know what?
Fun.
I found molds that you can make.
Oh my God, yes. And I know how to actually pour.
You just have to pour resin.
Yeah, I can do resin. We can make resin rings.
With flowers that we picked.
Yes.
On our
trip.
Yeah, on our, like, forage in the woods. And they'll be best friend rings.
Love it. So also when we were getting those shots of Brazil, we see a blonde white lady buying a rosary that a kid's like, this is from Father so-and-so, the dead priest that's in town.
Like, who literally just died.
Yeah, just died. Where the old bleeding statue was at. And so she's like, oh my God, sure. And she buys it and she sends it to, lo and behold, Patricia Arquette. Yeah, her daughter.
She's like, my daughter will love this. She is an atheist. She will love this rosary of a dead priest.
I know. Like, does your mom even know you?
No, because she's like, I'll see you in a month.
Yeah.
Didn't even know that you're getting stigmatized.
I just said, stigmata.
Stigmata.
That's going to come into play.
Apostrophe D.
Yeah, that's exactly how I spelled it.
Well, that's what that means.
Stigmata.
Stigmata.
So when she gets it, she gets incredibly sick at first.
I'm going to do a sticker that says stigmata.
Do it. Do it. So where were we? So she gets very sick when she gets the rosary. But she also implies that she thinks she may be pregnant with her loser boyfriend, who's, I guess, just left her high and dry suddenly. Yeah, quote unquote.
I think he just hits it and quits it all the time.
Yeah. And so that's what's going on in her life. It turns out she's being possessed by a dead priest. Yes. Spoiler alert. Because
they have the missing gospel.
Yeah, because basically the Vatican is still doing like translations, and they're finding scrolls and all this shit all the time. And the way they do the really sensitive material stuff is they divide it up into thirds, and so each priest or translator is basically only translating a third of the material, and not even, I think, in like a whole context, you know. So
because they don't want anybody to read the Bible.
Well, not the real Bible, because it turns out that's what they're covering up. It's the gospel of Jesus himself.
And he said,
the night before the Last Supper, when he was telling him his disciples how to carry out his wishes for the religion. Because I'm like, yeah, that's what Jesus would do.
Right. This is how you're supposed to worship me, guys.
Yeah.
After I'm gone.
I mean, that seems weird, right? Even in and of itself. But anyway.
Because that's kind of not what...
I know. I was like, I don't think Jesus wanted you to worship him at all. But I think they said his church. So maybe not.
He was probably mean God.
Yeah, he probably was just meaning like, this is how you guys should worship.
God properly.
But that was, kind of the gist, though, basically, is that the word of actual Jesus himself, they're hiding it because it basically says they don't need an organized religion.
Right.
Is also part of it. Like, you don't need all this stuff. Like, that's not necessary.
You carry it with you.
He's all within you and around you and, you know, whatever. I guess it's kind of, in a way, I would say representation of the Holy Trinity in some aspect.
Well, I feel like it's more like
one and the same of all, you know, of everything.
Yeah, but that's like what kind of all of it is.
Oh, yeah, but specifically for Catholicism, you know, the Holy Trinity is a huge part of the teaching. But
they just started that so they could do their little hand gestures. They're like, do you know the handshake?
I feel like it's also a way that they were kind of like moving chi around almost.
I mean, yeah.
Like,
I feel like it started with good intent.
Maybe. Anyway, so that's what the whole Catholic Church has been up to in this movie. And basically we find out the priest that died is, one of those priests. But why he would still, like, I get that it's like he's trying to get the word out. Like, as I feel like a priest probably would want to, knowing like, hey, I want the real word of God to go out to the people. Like, yeah.
I devoted myself to God.
But why do they make it so sinister? Like, why is he so weird? Like, when they show the actual, like... Because I feel like at one point when they start showing her getting stigmatized...
And he said the vessel does not matter. He's like, he wants to spread the word of the true word of God, but he doesn't give a shit about this woman who's being possessed by him, because he literally says the vessel does not matter, talking about her.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, that's... I don't give a shit about this bitch as long as my message is received.
Because, see, that's... At one point, though, it feels like they're more of implying of, like, oh, when someone's stigmatized, they also get closer to God from experiencing Jesus... from experiencing what he went through or whatever, because, you know, it's the most devout, this and that. But, like...
I think that's if they're actively trying to get closer to God.
Well, they're saying, though, that they also will have demons or negative things also, though, tempting them the closer they get.
Right.
So I had almost felt like they were implying... I guess that was the red herring, though. Maybe that's what they were implying in the beginning... Because they didn't want you to know she was possessed by the guy yet, the priest, maybe? Yeah, like, that's the only way I could feel that. Because I was like, well, that's silly. Like, so when you do, they're like, oh, it's the priest!
And you're like,
and I'm like, so he's the evil spirit?
That's what it... Because even like, summary said a sinister entity. Mm-hmm. So the priest is sinister?
But the sinister of spreading the word of Jesus?
Yeah. So all of it doesn't really...
I'm like, so I was like, maybe Jesus' teachings aren't the same in this movie.
Maybe they're more sinister.
I don't know.
I'm like, are you sure that was Jesus' scroll?
I know. And there's a lot of, like, millions of candles being lit in her apartment at all times.
At all times.
That's a big thing here. That was a very late 90s thing. Because they did it in Friends a lot. And I feel like a lot of different, like, women-centric. And, aesthetic. The whimsy goth of the 90s.
I mean, I'm here for it. I just wouldn't do it myself because I have cats.
Mm-hmm. Now, I would say the scene was good of her in the bathtub. They have that cool shot, though, where she's, like, the water, you know, and it's, like, on the bouncing off of each other like a reflection. It just looks cool.
Or when it's like you don't see the bathtub, you see her.
Yeah, yeah. It was just like a cool concept of how they shot it. But this is when she first gets stigmata.
It was through her wrist, yeah.
Yeah. So she's in the bathtub just chilling or whatever, like doing her thing.
Eating an apple.
Yeah, she's like eating an apple.
I was like, who eats a fucking apple in the bathtub?
She does, apparently.
It's weird.
And it goes right through her wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing you know, you get like a hospital cut scene. People assume, obviously, she did this to herself.
Yeah, but they found her in the bathtub. They found no nails. How did they think she did it to herself?
That's what I'm wondering.
With a knife?
Perhaps.
I don't think you could physically do that to yourself.
I don't know. Without, like, going into shock or something, like, after the
both
first
of
one.
Them?
But how would you do both of them? Yeah, that's my thing. Because after you fuck up one wrist, that wrist is fucked up, and then you may not have the strength to do the second wrist.
Yeah, she didn't act like it was that big of a deal. They just binded them, and...
They're like, nah, you're fine.
And then when it went through her feet... I was like, first off, why are you out in public, bitch? Why are y'all going out to diners and having breakfast and... Just like, oh, la-di-da.
I know.
I'm getting
stigmata'd.
actively as we speak.
And
then he just takes her home and wraps her feet up.
And they come so quickly, like, the occurrences. Like, like I said, she's, like, out doing something. Like, at one point, she's, like, out in the club, and then she's whipped. Stigmata'd! And they come sudden. And they're severe.
Yeah. Getting severe up in here.
It was very funny.
It was very funny. And especially her.
It was something else.
It was something else.
It was something else.
I was like, you know what's going to make you trip? It's not the whip. It's those giant ass platform sponge shoes.
So she gets 2 stigmatas, I believe, by the time the priest shows up. And she has foreshadowed him in a way, asking some other priest on the subway when she stigmata'd the second time.
Was it whipped again?
It was that was the whipping.
That was the whipping.
And
the club was
club was just. Wait, did anything happen to her in the club? Oh yeah, the thorns. The crown of thorns.
Yeah.
Yes. and then she's in a subway later. I think
her poor friend at the club. She's trying to out. They're like, Friday drinks, yay!
Woo! And they're like, oh, this bitch got to show up. Why did she show up to the club?
And she even dressed up to go out and everything.
I know.
You've been stigmata, girl.
You
got holes through your fucking wrist.
I know. Like,
I feel like that'd be painful.
I'm like, just stay home and get some rest.
Yeah.
Like, and then she was trying to still cut hair with stigmata'd wrists. Like, could you work a shift?
You know what really pissed me off?
What?
Is that when he's like, well, are you under a lot of stress? She's like, I cut hair. I was like, fuck
that is stressful.
You bitch. Obviously, you do not. If you do not think it's stressful.
I guess she means to say, though, she doesn't bring it home with her. But she's supposed to be like, oh, my God, I have a great hairstylist job. Like, I have these great clients. But then her clients turn on her because everyone thinks she's going crazy.
Well, yeah.
All these occurrences keep happening.
Sharp scissors. I wouldn't want a crazy bitch around me either.
I know, right? I agree. I'd be like, yeah, sorry. I mean, you got stigmata'd. I'm not going to let you
got stigmata'd. You ran out in the middle of the traffic.
Yeah. She's been seeing, like, a lady with a baby. Like, throws the baby, and it was because she was, like...
thought she was pregnant, I think.
Yeah, and I think she was thinking of, like, her options and stuff. But I think it might have been, like...
part of her demons of Stigmata.
No, I think it was trying to make her feel guilty if she would have gotten an abortion.
But she wasn't pregnant.
But she wasn't pregnant anyway. I know, like it
So
seems. Yeah, it seemed like they just wanted it for the imagery and like
threw a baby on the ground.
Yeah.
That's how taboo we are.
I know. Oh, and I will say too, when I was looking at, like I said, the older reviews of this film, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's so gory and bloody. It is just, it is intense." And I'm like, really? She had like
It must be the crown of thorns. Must have been that.
No, I mean that looked like someone used like lip liner. Yeah. Like it wasn't that kind of gore, you know.
What,
like it was fine.
What had the most blood? Maybe it was in the bathtub. I don't know. Either way, it wasn't.
And
like,
maybe even the one on her back. Like just afterwards, they show her back kind of bloody and like the shirt kind of torn. Like nothing to me was like
graphic.
I said maybe the wrist when it shows it like kind of just filling up and scooting. That would be probably the bloodiest, I would say. I was like, good Lord, this was 99. What have they not watched horror movies? There were plenty of gory movies back then. So for them to be just like, oh my God, it's so gory.
I guess. I don't know.
Pretty surprising.
They're like, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be about Jesus.
I thought she was going to be a devout. Like, once they found out she was an atheist, they're like, over.
Oh my God, it's gory.
Oh my God. But we find out it's because, like you said, she's just a vessel for this priest to get the word out about Jesus' gospel. So when she's telling the father, because again, she was asking specifically for him when she sees a different priest, but he does report it to the archdiocese. It goes up the ladder. It's going to the Vatican. And they do send Andrew Kiernan, even though when he first brought up what he saw with the statue in Brazil, he was going to have that looked into, and they immediately took him off the case. And he's like, that's weird. Why are they doing that? It's part of my job is to disprove these things. Mm-hmm. And like we said, it's because of who the priest was and the nature of the knowledge that was in hand. So they immediately took that guy off the job. So they're like, oh, we'll put him on this job, which they don't realize is immediately connected. Conveniently.
We're like, we'll just send him on this wild goose chase.
But once he finds out she's a self-proclaimed atheist, you know,
he's
and
like,
not religious,
you're
he's
not
like, oh,
Stigmata.
Case closed. You're just crazy.
Can't help you.
And she's like instantly flirty with him and all that. Again, it just felt unnecessary. I don't know why. Was that to make maybe his character, maybe you want to like him more or something because you think you can fuck him? I don't know.
Because I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I guess everybody wants to be the one that turns
to be your priest? Jesus.
I wrote in my notes, Galaxy Quest priest. Do you remember that one?
Oh my God, yeah. He's the guy in Just Shoot Me, isn't he? Yeah. Or maybe it was Galaxy Quest. Maybe I'm getting them mixed up. Or maybe, I don't know if it was the same actor or not. But that's great. Yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about?
I know exactly. The alien. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, that's an all-in-one salon, man. Like, you can get a tattoo.
Yeah.
You can get your nails done, your hair did.
I was impressed.
You can buy some clothes.
And this is supposed to be in like Pennsylvania.
Right. I thought they were in New York.
I did too. And then they're like, oh yeah, like what, Pittsburgh, I guess?
Maybe.
What else is in Pennsylvania?
You know I don't know geography. I don't know where it's at. I don't know what's there.
Now that their paths have crossed, now it's a little more linear on the directing style. There's no back and forth too much. We get a little bit of Vatican info. Nothing crazy. The story pretty much just chugs along, though. You know, they're supposed to be basically uncovering what we've already told you happens.
Yeah. That's the majority line of the
and
story.
It's very, like I said, I can't even say like anything that's different or stands out. It's very run-of-the-mill kind of Jesus exorcism, you know, kind of vibes like that. They're doing their research, basically. She's writing shit on walls. Like, say he had a translator.
She's basically writing the gospel.
Yeah, that's right? What she's doing. Yeah, because the guy.
That's what I read. I was like, because at first I still thought she was had something to do with Jesus. I guess in my notes. First I wrote, she turned into the priest or whatever. let me go rinse my Jesus face off in the... Like, her house was, like, falling apart by the second. Did you notice that?
Yes, there was like water leaking everywhere.
Everywhere.
And when they showed the statue, though, they also showed water dripping and then like reverse dripping.
Right.
But I don't know if there was any significance to that,
meant
or
that the
was it just cool looking?
Possession was nearby, I guess.
I guess, or his
and then they
spirit.
smell flowers.
Yeah. But then they say when you smell flowers, it means it's, like an evil spirit. So
is that what it said?
Oh, yeah, like with around in exorcisms, I think you said.
Okay.
Like, so even they're talking about that. So it's like, yeah, it gets a little convoluted, basically, second, half of the film. It's like they're trying to almost over-explain things, or again, there's red herrings a little bit, and then it just kind of doesn't come together very well in the end. Stigmata. Because it gets to the point where there is like a big showdown, and she's like the full crucifixion look and all this stuff, and
then the priest tries to kill her.
Yes,
Elizabeth Swan's father tries to kill her.
Yes,
saying he's going to exorcism her.
Because he's like, I'm going to take it over now. That's ultimately what the Catholic Church is. How they're going to handle it.
We're going to kill him and cover it up.
Yeah,
standard.
Exactly. But not on Father Kiernan's watch.
Not on... All right. Damn, still didn't take her to the hospital? I think she might need stitches.
Yeah, because at one point during, like I said, the final throwdown with the Vatican priest guy, and then the whole ceiling catches fire, and like everything's on fire
that
in there.
Holy fire.
Yeah, it's holy fire. Yeah. And it does look kind of cool, though.
Yeah, that actually...
It held up.
Yeah, that held up.
For that, honestly, that CG fire, I feel like looks better than some modern CG fire.
I agree.
Like, I feel like they must have, again, how I always say, when they meld it together and balance a little real with the, and supplement it, like, looks more real sometimes. So I don't know if that's how they did it. I wish I would have found more... Behind the scenes with some of the other stuff. Like I said, I just, yeah.
It's crazy how, like, information just disappears.
Sometimes, I know.
It's only 20 years ago. No,
I know.
I guess it's like 30.
Still.
25.
It's like 25, yeah.
So much better.
And then he carries her like a little baby out of there. They do a lot of face touching.
My favorite.
They kiss.
Oh, did they kiss?
I think so. They kiss like a little bit, or like a nuzzling of some kind.
I think they did a little nuzzle.
A little nuzzling. And then they go and showing the church that has the scrolls, and they go and get the scrolls, and I guess they're just going to spread the word of God. The end.
Well, because then it has a little, like, the text or whatever. And it's
yeah.
And so, blah, 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 blah. Wasn't it supposed to be, like, there was a...
Oh, yeah.
A gospel actually found?
There was. I thought I had it written in the notes, but I didn't see them when I wrote them down. Yes, there was some kind of scrolls that were found. I believe it was in the 50s or something. Mm-hmm. But, I mean,
I think it's amazing that they can find scrolls and they're not disintegrated.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on where they were stored and everything,
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I guess we need to start doing that so it doesn't disappear in the interwebs.
There you go. You gotta always have a hard copy.
Yeah.
I mean, you just start printing them out on, like, papyrus. Make your own papyrus printer paper.
And use papyrus.
Yeah.
Text.
Yes.
Avatar.
Papyrus.
Papyrus and balls.
Those are very funny skits. They did those really well. Anyway, so what'd you think of the rewatch?
Oh, it was still terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. I will never watch it again except to derive outfit ideas if you ever need a Brad Girl Summer. Said it was perfect for that. That was the funnest part of the movie for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, everything, the story was just very run-of-the-mill.
For it to have, I mean, it was confused how the message of Jesus is in you and all the way around you. Now here's a possessed priest that's going to possess this woman. Like, I don't feel like that.
Yeah, it made it very serious undertones with that. I did like the idea, though, of having, the whole I mean, it was kind of like, oh my God, what was the book that we all went crazy for? Da Vinci Code. Like,
yes, like Da Vinci Code.
Like, they could have, I feel
we
like
all went crazy for. I did, man. I ate that shit up.
You remember the Da Vinci Code?
I read all of them.
You were into the. I only read the first one, and then I was like, that was fine. It was whatever.
I think I read at least the first two.
Yeah, I feel like it could have went like that a little bit with the church and a cover up. That is fun, but it was very really run of the mill. Probably wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah, and the Stigmata.
It was. They said it so brazen. Like, girl, you just got stigmata. Yep, that was it, guys. Nothing too good.
Nothing too good. Like you said, the fashion.
Yeah.
And that was about it.
Oh, and the music, the soundtrack was fine.
I don't remember it.
It was very kind of. Is it run of the mill? Like what you expect. I feel like it just hit what notes it needed to hit at times.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, fell short with the story. Like I said, it just didn't seem to mesh well with the ideas that it was trying to convey.
Right.
So next we'll have Frailty. I think that one will probably be a little.
I think that will definitely hold up better.
Hopefully.
I think so.
We'll
Matthew McConaughey, can't go wrong with him.
I mean, you can, but
you cannot.
I watched Failure to Launch.
True.
Wasn't very good. What was it, Sahara?
I just watched that one.
That one didn't seem like it was very good either.
I just watched that one recently. The Failure to Launch.
Oh. Sorry. And that other one with Kate Hudson.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
And there's another one I thought they did too, though. And that
Fool's
one was
Gold
weird.
or something.
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one.
I used to be in love with Matthew McConaughey.
Seriously, so I watched them all.
I watched all of them. It was MTV that got me hooked.
That's funny. Oh, that was a good one, though. Yeah. That was a good one.
It was like their version of Truman Show.
Yeah. I think it didn't come out before Truman Show.
I think they came out right around the same time. Reality TV was just getting started.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
True.
Because we that old.
Yeah. Anyway, as always, you can find us at Film Gazers on all of the social areas, essentially. And you can find us at our Film Gazers podcast community on Discord. I'm really going to try to contribute.
I contribute more to the other ones if you do the Discord.
Okay. But people are like, what if they want to specifically talk to you, Jess? I'm sure not everyone likes me.
I'm sure they'd rather talk to you.
Maybe we'll actually plan or schedule things for chats on there or discussions or some kind of
that would be way better for me because I'm definitely more of a planner.
Yeah, exactly. And then anyways, you can find us there.
Occasionally.
If we show up, you'll find out.
See you when I see ya.
So, time to hit the dusty trail.
Until next time.
Later, taters.